Have you ever looked at that tree in your backyard and thought, damn, I really wish that thing could get me pregnant right now? No? Well, that's too bad because it's what we're talking about today. SCP-401 resembles an ordinary tree in form and function, but with human physiology substituted for plant biology. Basically, that means instead of using photosynthesis, it eats. Instead of using plant respiration, it breathes with its lungs. And instead of plant-based vasculature made out of xylem and phloem, it's got flesh and blood veins. TLDR, if you cut open this tree, the inside would look kinda like you. You might be asking yourself, if this thing eats, does this thing poop? Or does it do whatever the trees normally do? I can confirm that this tree does have a butthole on the side of its trunk, which it does use to poop. Funnily enough, there aren't any roots directly under this spot either. What I'm wondering is, since this tree can't walk, when these things occur in nature, do they just exist until they slowly drown in their own shit? That doesn't make any sense. Moving on from this, you may be curious as to the physiology of this man tree. The trunk of this tree is supported by multiple vertebral columns, held together by a series of tendons and muscles. On the outside, rough, thick bone tissue takes the place of what would be bark. As it goes higher, each of these columns will split, until there is only one vertebral column supporting the rest of the tree. At the base of this weird tree trunk torso are multiple human hearts, which pump blood and nutrients throughout the roots and branches. The roots of the tree are similar in structure to human necks, and upon further investigation, appear to contain esophagi protected by a layer of cartilage reminiscent of the trachea. At the end of each root is a fully formed upper and lower jaw, complete with muscles, lips, and a prehensile tongue. If you would f the tree feet mouth, comment below! While I'm sure you have your own disgusting ideas about what the prehensile tongue could be used for, observations have shown that the tree uses it to dig around in the dirt and catch critters like burrowing animals and other life forms like plants and fungi to swallow up, condemning them all to a horrible fate. All of these roots lead to one stomach. This, along with a fully functional, incredibly long intestinal tract, work to absorb the nutrients and create the aforementioned poop that it does in fact make. The branches are similar to human arms. They extrude themselves from the bony trunk, but have no bone bark themselves. Many branches will split at the elbows to allow more than one forearm. The palms of the hands all face upwards, and the tip of each finger has a human eye growing from it. The eyes are hazel in color. I'm a sucker for big brown soulful eyes. Dissection of the eyes show that they are all myopic. But through multiple annoying flashes from my iPhone flashlight in the eye, I can see that they do react to light stimuli as a normal eye would. The theory behind the condition of the eye is that it acts as a protective feature, preventing excessive damage to the retina from direct sunlight. Although that doesn't really make any f***ing sense to me, because the sun can still give you a sunburn even if you can't see it. Though the chemical process is yet unknown, the retinas in the eyes carry a form of photosynthesis which transforms carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose. This is further proven by a chemical analysis of the lungs, which shows that there is a higher concentration of oxygen when SCP-401 exhales than when it inhales. Here's the part of this critter that inspired the thumbnail, title, and the reason I'll be cancelled on Twitter. In spring, SCP-401 will go into bloom. Although it is a genetic male, it will grow female sexual organs. The vaginal openings are located on the palms of the hands, with canals extending 18 centimeters along each wrist to a bulge which contains a fully formed uterus and ovaries. 5 days after the formation of the organs, all the weird hand branches start their periods, and then dicks grow in the place of the vaginas within the span of 10 days. Once the dicks are fully formed, they'll shed and fall to the ground, and then the tree will eat its own dicks through its roots. Nature is just so beautiful sometimes. I mean, not right now. This makes me want to cause an XK class extinction event, but I don't know, stick your tongue in an anthill or something. During this phase, SCP-401 will attack human females for the purpose of reproduction. Well, I guess someone decided that the world existed long enough without the fucking sexual assault tree. Whoever wrote this entry is both incredibly creative and should probably also be investigated. I can only imagine the feedback when the author asked for notes on their new writing project. Hey, so I love the idea of a tree made with human biology. So creative. Just one note.
It wouldn't happen to be about the molesty part.
Yeah, it's the molesty parts.
You might be wondering, how does someone contain a Rapist tree? For some reason, a painstakingly detailed mural of the landscape of France is painted on the walls of the courtyard. But the hourly failed art student turned agent who is paid to paint all the walls has insisted that this is vital. Once daily, personnel are to feed at least 10 of the roots with a nutrient-rich slurry. They also gotta pick up its poops. Female personnel are not to enter the courtyard at any time between March 15th and April 1st, under any circumstances, because of the horrible fucking things that would definitely happen. This problematic tree was first found near the French city of Redacted. I hear Redacted is just beautiful this time of year. Evidently, the ground was bleeding for some reason, and then people called the cops because apparently it's illegal for the ground to bleed. Agents intercepted the call and went to the scene to see a human mouth embedded in the soil, licking away the remaining blood with a long prehensile tongue. It took them a week to dig out the area around the hand and realized that the mouth was part of the root structure. This root structure belonged to what at first appeared to be a 40-meter tall dead eucalyptus tree with branches shaped like multi-jointed human arms.
I like that they just saw a tree made of arms next to it and went, oh, that's completely normal. Let's not check on that for an entire week.
The white color of the trunk, originally suggesting that the tree was dead, was found to be because the bark was made of human bone tissue. It was given SCP status and excavated from the area to be transported to Site Redacted.
I always love when a rescue finds a forever home.
Now you're probably thinking, if I had a molester tree, I would mess with it in some weird experiments. First off, you're going to jail, but before that, this next section is for you. Experiment log 401-1. The fact that SCP is genetically human, combined with the Dan Schneider-style behavior it displays, suggests that it may be compatible with human beings. A number of ethically questionable and disgusting experiments have been proposed to test this. Date? Redacted. If you're just gonna redact everything, why are you writing it down in the first place? Subject: female D-class, personnel D2055. Procedure: D2055 was artificially inseminated with material produced by SCP-401 during its male phase using a turkey baster. The product of this was allowed to gestate. 9 months after conception, D2055 gave birth to a normal human male infant. Though healthy and lacking in any unusual tree-like attributes, the child has been found to suffer from myopia compared to what afflicts the eyes of SCP-401. He therefore had to wear glasses, similar to what researchers would describe as a fucking nerd. The child has since been adopted by Agent Redacted, who has agreed to bring his new son to a Foundation-approved doctor for monthly physical examinations. Experiment log 401-2. Male D-class personnel D2067. Procedure: after hours of persuading Dr. Bright that, quote, showing the Foundation why he calls it the bone tree would not in fact be funny, D2067 was ordered to donate genetic material which was used to artificially inseminate SCP-401 at the beginning of its female phase. Details: 12 hours after insemination, the uterine bulge in the wrist increased in size by 300%. While the other branches continued to develop normally for the next 2 weeks, the pregnant arm retained its uterine bulge and vaginal canal. 24 hours prior to the maturation of male organs, the uterine bulge began contracting until a mass of tissue was extracted from the palm. The tree then does what all new parents do, and threw their newborn as hard and as far as they possibly fucking could, like an egg against a brick wall. After hours of searching, Foundation personnel found a human urinary bladder with a fetus nested inside, consistent with the one that was previously gestating in the hand. The bladder was planted in the soil like a seed, and 2 days later, it germinated and became an SCP-401 seedling. The organism died of malnutrition 1 week later, despite being fed nutritional supplement 401-NS3. Man, am I sure glad my hand couldn't get pregnant. There'd be so many of me. Experiment log 401-3. Subject: female D-class personnel D2081. Procedure: an egg was removed from D2081's ovary, fertilized with genetic material harvested from SCP-401, and frozen until next spring. The fertilized egg was implanted into SCP-401 and allowed to gestate. Details: data expunged. Oh, that's bullshit. I want to see what happened to the homunculus tree, baby. By the way, I'm not an SCP, I have never been an SCP, and I will never be an SCP. I am my own thing from my own universe, which is owned by someone who is very protective of their intellectual property. Not even joking, I kinda need to state this for legal reasons. Original OC, do not steal. But if you do like SCP and other spooky content without a shitty joke every 10 seconds, check out my Spooky Stories channel, where I read creepypastas, SCP, no sleep, my text to my exes, and a lot of other horrifying stories. I just read SCP-401 over there, as a matter of fact. If you like this video and want to see more anomalous content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled. I'm not throwing anyone to the Onision tree, but I'll give you worms or something, I don't know. I'd like to thank Biodegradable for editing this video. They're a great editor and you should go watch all of their things.
Shout out the Inner Circle. Love y'all.